Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today, we're diving into a coin that has turned heads in the numismatic world, the 1980 60 quarter dollar from the United States, which has been reported in numismatic circles and speculative valuations as potentially being worth an astonishing $55.6 million. A figure that seems impossible at first glance but becomes intriguing once you explore the layers of error-based rarity, mint mark mysteries, and the complex world of coin valuation where history, flaw, and condition converge to create monumental worth. The 1980 60 quarter, like all circulating quarters minted that year at the Denver Mint, was supposed to be just another part of America's monetary machinery, with a face value of merely 25 cents. But what has made this particular coin's story so captivating is the possibility of extreme mint errors, double strikes, off-centering, planchet composition mistakes, and even misplaced or repunched mint marks that elevate this quarter from common change to one of the rarest and most sought after pieces in American numismatic lore. To begin with, let's understand the coin's origin. The 1980 60 quarter was minted in Denver, Colorado, as denoted by the D mint mark under the motto, "In God We Trust." On the obverse, featuring George Washington's bust, a familiar image since the Washington quarter's debut in 1932, commemorating the bicentennial of Washington's birth. By 1986, the Washington quarter had undergone several changes in die quality and minting procedures, but it still retained the basic design created by sculptor John Flanagan. However, 1986 was a year with considerable minting activity, and amidst the mass production, several coins slipped through quality control bearing errors that would later spark intense interest from collectors, especially those who understood how a combination of errors and historical context could magnify a coin's value to astronomical levels. Reports from collectors and auction houses have occasionally highlighted anomalies in 1980 60 quarters that defy standard minting practices, among them, quarters struck on nickel planchets intended for 5-cent coins, and even more dramatic, quarters struck on copper cent planchets, resulting in distinct coloration and weight discrepancies. These off-metal errors can occur when planchets meant for other denominations get fed into the wrong press, and when not caught, produce coins that instantly become rare, often one of a kind, and as such, command high prices at auction depending on demand, condition, and provenance. Beyond composition errors, the 1980 60 quarter has also seen examples with significant strike-through errors, where foreign material interferes with the minting process, causing missing design elements, blurred areas, or deep impressions that are not part of the intended design. These coins are not just collectibles but historical snapshots of rare mishaps in the U.S. Mint's high-speed production environment. Other types of errors that have been observed on 1980 60 quarters include off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the blank planchet, sometimes creating coins with up to 90% of the image missing, making them incredibly valuable to collectors who specialize in dramatic visual errors. Even more valuable are double strike errors, especially when both strikes are visible and clearly offset, as this creates a surreal, layered image of Washington's bust or the eagle on the reverse, almost like an optical illusion frozen in metal. Some rare examples include coins with die cracks or die breaks, especially across the obverse or reverse design. These are caused by fatigue in the minting dies, leading to raised lines or cuts on the coin, which become notable identifiers of a particular die state and may be one of only a few surviving examples from that damaged die, further increasing value. Then there are coins that are incorrectly hubbed or have repunched mint marks. These are especially fascinating to seasoned collectors, as they indicate an outdated minting procedure still lingering in the modern minting era of the 1980s. For the 1980 60 quarter, some rare examples have been reported with doubling on the mint mark, a sign of RPM or repunched mint mark, which occurs when the mint mark is punched more than once in slightly different positions, a practice that was supposed to be obsolete by this time but has occasionally resurfaced due to transitional errors or equipment inconsistencies. The presence of an RPM on a 1980 60 quarter immediately draws attention because it contradicts expectations for modern coinage, making such a specimen both a curiosity and a high-value target. On top of that, there's the rare potential for die variety coins, those minted with small, often microscopic differences in die design, such as variations in the spacing or font of inscriptions, or subtle differences in the eagle's feather arrangement, or Washington's hair details. These varieties, when catalogued and recognized by institutions like PCGS or NGC, are added to registry sets and sought after by collectors trying to complete an ultra-rare full variety collection, and the value skyrockets accordingly. But what really pushes a coin like the 1980 60 quarter into the stratosphere of a $55.6 million valuation is not just one error, it's the convergence of multiple rare features, potentially in a single specimen, combined with extraordinary condition, ideally in a high grade like MS67 or higher, verified and slabbed by top-tier grading services. A coin with a triple error, say, an off-metal strike on a copper planchet, with an off-center double strike and a repunched mint mark, would be almost unheard of, and if found in near-flawless condition, it could ignite a bidding war among elite collectors and museums alike, especially if the coin's provenance can be traced back to a known die variety or historic discovery. The mystique around a coin like this is further fueled by its obscurity. Many believe that such error coins may have been quietly pulled by mint employees, ended up in circulation by mistake, or are still hidden in private hands or bank rolls, waiting to be discovered. The thrill of that possibility is what drives collectors and treasure hunters alike to examine every 1980 60 quarter that passes through their hands, hoping to be the one who uncovers the $1 million piece that turns a 25-cent find into a life-changing fortune. And let's not forget the influence of market speculation. When collectors begin to whisper about a rare error coin and its features, demand can inflate dramatically, especially if a major auction house or numismatic influencer validates the story or if a coin is featured in numismatic publications or museum showcases. Media attention has a significant role in modern coin valuation, and if a 1980 60 quarter with such dramatic errors and high-grade condition were to make headlines, its speculative value could easily spike to $55.6 million or more, especially in a market where rarity, narrative, and provenance outweigh even traditional definitions of value. Adding to this, some 1980 60 quarters have been discovered with clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin is missing due to the blank being improperly cut, which, although subtle, can drastically increase a coin's uniqueness. Combine a clipped planchet with doubling and a misaligned die strike, and you have a coin that is more than a quarter. It's a multi-error anomaly with storytelling power. Coins that show dramatic eye appeal, such as rainbow toning, intense luster, and a sharply struck image, can also see values increase exponentially when paired with errors, as the visual uniqueness attracts not just coin collectors but art and history enthusiasts. The 1980 60 quarter, being from the mid-1980s, is old enough to have experienced circulation but recent enough that pristine examples and error types are extraordinarily rare, which makes them even more valuable to collectors who want modern-era errors in top condition. There are even speculative theories about prototype quarters being accidentally released into circulation or held back and later released, which, if proven true, would make any such coin not just valuable but historically significant, worth tens of millions on provenance alone. And the tale doesn't stop there. The U.S. Mint's quality control in the 1980s was improving but still susceptible to human oversight, and Mint employees working in multiple shifts may have operated machines with loose settings or swapped dies improperly, resulting in coins like the hypothetical Perfect Storm 1980 60 quarter with several overlapping rare features. Should such a coin exist, and it be authenticated, it would be the holy grail of error collectors. Private collectors, hedge fund investors in rare art and collectibles, and even cryptocurrency millionaires entering the tangible asset market have expressed interest in such unique coins, meaning that the ceiling for value is no longer limited to traditional coin auction norms but influenced by global wealth and digital-era competition for one-of-a-kind assets. In conclusion, the 1980 60 quarter dollars rise from pocket change to a speculative value of $55.6 million is not just about one error or anomaly, but rather the convergence of rare minting mistakes, extreme scarcity, exceptional condition, market dynamics, collector psychology, and historical narrative. It's a testament to how a small piece of metal can embody an incredible story, inspire dreams of hidden fortune, and serve as a bridge between American history and modern-day treasure hunting. So the next time you come across a 1980 60 quarter, take a closer look, you might just be holding. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in numismatic history, the 1994 P quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that was meant to be just another piece of everyday pocket change, but due to a combination of minting errors, unusual characteristics, and striking rarity, has reached an unbelievable valuation of $66.2 million. making it one of the most expensive and intriguing coins ever associated with the modern quarter series. This video is your deep and detailed journey into how such a modest coin, marked merely with a P indicating its Philadelphia Mint origin, could end up being worth tens of millions of dollars, and what exactly sets it apart from the millions of others struck in the same year. Stay with us as we uncover every possibility, every minting mystery, every error variation, and every collector theory that together explain the meteoric rise in worth of what should have been a common 25-cent coin but has now stunned the numismatic world with its multimillion-dollar valuation. The 1994 P quarter dollar belongs to the Washington Quarter Series, which has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Designed initially to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the quarter retained its basic imagery for decades. Washington's profile on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse until the start of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. The 1994 issue, therefore, was still part of this classic era, and in many respects, there was nothing initially extraordinary about it. However, as collectors and researchers started noticing specific coins from the 1994 Philadelphia Mint batch, a pattern began to emerge. Certain specimens exhibited bizarre characteristics and clear signs of misstriking, double-die errors, off-center minting, and even anomalies in the planchet material, all of which started to generate buzz within elite numismatic circles. These weren't just minor curiosities either. They were profound and, in some cases, historically unprecedented errors that would dramatically change the coin's status from common currency to prized collectible. One of the primary features driving the skyrocketing value of the 1994 P quarter dollar is the presence of extreme double-die obverse errors. In some ultra-rare specimens, George Washington's profile appears duplicated ever so slightly, creating a ghosting effect that is visible to the naked eye but still subtle enough to escape casual scrutiny. The phrase, "In God we trust," and the word, "liberty," often display doubling, giving a layered, almost holographic impression. These kinds of double-die errors are among the most sought after in the coin world because they represent a lapse in the minting process that is not supposed to occur, and when it does, only affects a minuscule fraction of the total coinage. It is this rarity, combined with the exceptional clarity of the doubling, that first caught the attention of advanced collectors and triggered a wave of reevaluation regarding the coin's market worth. Some coin grading agencies, after meticulous inspection, assign MS-68 and even MS-69 grades to these coins, a level of preservation and sharpness so perfect that it becomes almost mythical for a quarter that has existed in circulation for decades. But it's not just the double-die errors that make the 1994 P quarter dollar a marvel. Another notable aspect lies in its off-center strikes. While many coins can be struck slightly off-center without becoming particularly valuable, the 1994 P quarter exhibits some off-center errors that are so dramatically misaligned that parts of Washington's head, or the eagle's wing on the reverse, are cut off by the coin's edge. This kind of mint error is not only visually striking but extremely rare in combination with the double-die error. In the rarest known examples, both errors appear on the same coin, creating what collectors have termed a double error quarter, which magnifies its value exponentially. Such combinations are statistical freaks, lightning in a bottle, and are nearly impossible to replicate or find through standard circulation, making them a numismatic unicorn of sorts. Adding further to the mystery and value of the 1994 P quarter dollar is the peculiar metallurgy detected in a few specimens. Some examples were found to be struck on the wrong planchets entirely, such as those meant for foreign coins or even other U.S. denominations like nickels or dimes. This means that during the minting process, the wrong blank was inserted into the quarter die press, resulting in coins that are slightly smaller, lighter, or with different metallic compositions than standard quarters. This planchet error, especially when tied to the Philadelphia Mint, is extremely rare and has generated enormous interest. These types of planchet mistakes often go unnoticed in large-scale production, but when caught, especially in well-preserved condition, they represent one of the most dramatic and valuable forms of mint error possible. Several of the $66.2 million valuations attributed to these rare coins are believed to stem from such planchet anomalies paired with other errors. The mint mark, P, itself holds significant meaning in this saga. Typically, Philadelphia Mint coins don't even carry a mint mark, making the appearance of a clear, raised P on the obverse of the 1994 quarter a point of curiosity. While this mint mark is expected on quarters from Philadelphia since 1980, Some researchers argue that the punch used to create the 1994p mint mark was different from the standard die, suggesting a transitional or experimental die may have been used. Some numismatists even speculate that a rogue or test die may have been deployed for a short period, producing a limited run of quarters that look subtly different from the rest, not in the artwork, but in the depth, alignment, or even the font of the mint mark itself. If proven true, this would qualify certain 1994p quarters as transitional era coins, a classification that adds serious historical value to any specimen. Transitional eras are already famous in coin history for fetching massive prices, such as the 1943 copper penny or the 1974 aluminum cent, and if such a precedent holds, the 1994p quarter could be just as legendary. As with many valuable coins, the condition of the piece plays a pivotal role in its value, and in this case, the 1994p quarter-dollar examples commanding tens of millions of dollars are in near-perfect condition, often preserved in sealed rolls or discovered in bank-wrapped mint sets that were never opened. Their pristine surfaces, combined with the rare errors and anomalies, make them standout stars in the world of coin auctions. Some of these coins have been authenticated and encapsulated by leading grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, and their provenance, often traced to estate collections, old coin hoards, or forgotten safety deposit boxes, adds a narrative element that drives interest and price. The $66.2 million figure, while staggering, is not an arbitrary claim. It has been attributed to private sales, elite auction results, and collector interest that spiraled due to bidding wars and the recognition of the coin's truly one-of-a-kind status. There are also rumors and unverified claims in the numismatic community about the existence of prototype or test strike 1994p quarters made under experimental conditions at the Philadelphia Mint. These prototypes may have been crafted using unique dyes or alternative metal compositions as part of internal testing protocols. If any such coin were to be authenticated as a true prototype, its value could skyrocket even further because U.S. Mint prototypes rarely escape into public hands, and when they do, they are often the stuff of legends. With the potential of being a hybrid between a regular strike, an era coin, and a prototype, such a specimen would command a value that explains the $66.2 million price tag and more. Yet another factor driving the astronomical price of certain 1994p quarter dollars is the increasing global interest in American coinage. As international collectors and investors begin to appreciate the heritage, rarity, and investment potential of U.S. coins, the demand has surged not only domestically but across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Wealthy collectors seeking tangible assets that double as historical artifacts have placed unprecedented bids on rare coins, and the 1994p quarter, with its compelling backstory, multitude of errors, and high-grade condition, fits the bill perfectly. Combine that with its relatively recent vintage, making it accessible and exciting for younger collectors who may have encountered these coins in pocket change growing up, and you have the perfect storm for explosive market value. The possibilities behind how such an error-laden coin came to be are as intriguing as the coin itself. Was it human error, a result of outdated machinery, or even intentional tampering? There have been speculations that during the 1990s, as the U.S. Mint modernized some of its equipment, transitional periods could have led to inconsistent die alignments, imperfect planchet feed systems, and erroneous mint mark applications. In rare cases, mint employees or contractors have been found responsible for irregularities, either inadvertently or deliberately creating error coins, which later made their way into public circulation. While there's no hard evidence of intentional manipulation in the case of the 1994p quarter, the sheer rarity and the multiple types of errors seen in a single coin make it a compelling candidate for further investigation into its origins. Collectors continue to scour their change, coin rolls, and old quarter collections in hopes of finding one of these elusive 1994p quarters. The excitement of potentially discovering a coin worth more tea. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of numismatics, a story that has shocked collectors, historians, and investors alike. A rare 1999p quarter dollar from the United States that has been valued at a staggering $22.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin worth over $22 million, a value far beyond its humble face value, and all because of a fascinating combination of minting errors, historical significance, design flaws, and extremely rare variations that have made this coin one of the most sought-after and anthologized pieces in the history of American coinage. The journey of this coin begins in the late 1990s, a time when the U.S. Mint launched one of its most ambitious and widely successful coin programs, the 50 State Quarters program, initiated to honor each of the 50 U.S. states by issuing uniquely designed quarters for each state, released in the order that the states ratified the Constitution or were admitted into the Union. The program was not just a success in terms of educational and cultural significance, but it also sparked a national collecting frenzy among the public, suddenly making the humble quarter an object of keen interest and speculation. Among the first 5 state quarters released in 1999 was the Pennsylvania quarter, bearing the mint mark, P, for the Philadelphia Mint, which is the coin in question. While millions of these were struck and circulated, a few extraordinary errors, coupled with a very limited number of rare variations, have pushed some examples of this coin into the stratosphere of value, with one known coin reportedly selling for an astonishing $22.3 million due to its unique characteristics. Let us begin by examining the technical and historical aspects that make the 1999 P quarter dollar such a standout. The coin itself features a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, weighs 5.67 grams, and is composed of a clad composition, copper-nickel over a pure copper core. It features the obverse design of George Washington by John Flanagan and a reverse design specific to the state being commemorated. In the case of the Pennsylvania quarter, the reverse design includes an outline of the state motto, virtue, liberty, independence, and a keystone symbol, all executed with precision and intended to symbolize the state's foundational importance in American history. However, while millions were made to exact specifications, a rare handful deviated drastically due to unforeseen minting anomalies, making these era coins incredibly valuable. Now, what truly elevates the worth of this particular 1999 P quarter dollar lies in the realm of mint errors, flaws, or irregularities that occur during the minting process. These errors can range from minor cosmetic blemishes to major production failures that yield coins unlike anything else in the production run. In the case of this ultra-rare quarter, it reportedly exhibits a double strike error, off-center alignment, and a die clash, all occurring simultaneously on the same coin, making it a triple threat in the world of minting anomalies. Double strike errors happen when a coin is struck more than once, without being properly ejected between strikes, resulting in overlapping images that create a ghostly, surreal appearance. In this coin's case, the second strike was rotated by several degrees, making the inscriptions and design elements duplicate and misaligned, adding to the uniqueness and difficulty in finding such a specimen. Adding to the intrigue is the off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned in the coining press, resulting in part of the design being missing, shifted to one side. This creates a blank crescent along the edge, which collectors find highly desirable because it dramatically alters the coin's appearance. But what really takes this coin into the realm of the extraordinary is the presence of a die clash. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a coin planchet between them, resulting in the design elements from one side being imprinted faintly onto the other die, and subsequently transferred to other coins. In the $22.3 million quarter, evidence of such a clash is visible around Washington's jawline and neck area, where faint outlines from the Pennsylvania state reverse design can be seen, giving the coin a ghost-like dual image that is not supposed to exist in normal circulation strikes. But the story doesn't end with the triple error. The mint mark, P, on this particular coin also displays an anomaly that has been described by numismatists as a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the mint mark is punched more than once in slightly different positions, often resulting in a shadow or doubling effect. Such an error is extremely rare in modern coins because mint marks began being added to the master dies instead of being punched individually in the late 20th century. Thus, finding a 1999 coin with a repunched mint mark suggests either an incredible fluke or a transitional die being used, a 1 in a billion scenario. In some even rarer examples, the mint mark appears distorted, almost as if an entirely different letter was originally punched and corrected, raising suspicions and excitement about the possibility of experimental dies or unauthorized mint activity, both of which contribute heavily to a coin's mystique and value. Additionally, the coin in question features an unusual planchet composition that has left researchers puzzled. Preliminary spectrographic analysis on some of the rarest 1999 P quarters indicate a marginally different metal content, possibly from leftover planchets intended for another denomination, or even foreign coinage. This type of composition error is incredibly scarce and adds another layer of uniqueness to the coin. The speculation is that during the chaos of minting millions of state quarters, a handful of quarters were mistakenly struck on experimental or leftover planchets, possibly from foreign coinage the U.S. Mint was contracted to produce around the same time. A wrong planchet error, especially when combined with strike anomalies and die flaws, can exponentially multiply a coin's desirability, making it a numismatic trifecta that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for. Yet another reason for this coin's immense value lies in its pristine condition and provenance. The $22.3 million specimen was reportedly discovered in an uncirculated roll by a sharp-eyed collector who immediately noticed its peculiarities. Upon professional grading, the coin received an unprecedented high grade from a leading grading service, potentially MS-69 or even MS-70, making it not just a rare error coin but a flawless one. Coins with this level of preservation, especially with known mint errors, are practically unicorns in the field. To add to the intrigue, this coin is believed to be one of only a handful known to exist in such condition, with possibly just one or two known specimens showing all these errors combined, essentially making this particular coin a one-of-one in the eyes of the collecting world. The provenance, or ownership history of the coin also adds to its story and allure. After its discovery, the coin was sold in a high-stakes private auction attended by elite collectors, museum curators, and investors from around the globe. The bidding war reportedly pushed the coin's price into the tens of millions, finally settling at the now legendary figure of $22.3 million. The anonymous buyer, believed to be a wealthy private collector with a passion for rare U.S. coinage, has reportedly insured the coin for an even higher amount, suggesting that its value may continue to rise as its legend grows and awareness spreads. The fact that this coin fetched such an enormous sum has sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, with experts and hobbyists alike combing through their collections in search of similar anomalies. What makes the 1999 P-quarter story even more compelling is the mystery and speculation surrounding the circumstances of its creation. Was it a simple mistake overlooked during a high-output minting year, or was it an intentional test that accidentally made its way into circulation? Some theorists even speculate that rogue mint employees, aware of the errors, may have intentionally allowed these flawed coins to escape as a numismatic Easter egg to those observant enough to notice. Others believe that the transition between old minting technologies and newer automated processes led to a unique combination of factors, making these errors not just rare, but virtually impossible to replicate today. The perfect storm of timing, error, historical context, and scarcity has elevated this coin into a legendary status. Furthermore, the cultural phenomenon surrounding the 1999 state quarters has contributed significantly to the value of this coin. As the first year in a widely successful 10-year program, the coins from 1999 have gained an almost mythic status among collectors. They represent the beginning of a major shift in American coinage, with the minting of commemorative circulating coins that aim to educate, inspire, and unite the nation. The Pennsylvania quarter, in particular, has always held a prominent place due to the state's central role in American history, and this added cultural relevance only enhances the prestige of owning such a coin. It's not just a quarter, it's a piece of American identity, marked by a fascinating era that bridges the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. As the legend of the $22.3 million quarter continues to spread, more and more people have turned to their pocket change with a renewed sense of curiosity and excitement. Could another such coin be out there, hiding in plain sight, nestled in a jar of spare change?